welcome back to Butler's Garage. This is my friend's 2016 Ford ST. Today we will be popping in a sub for her. She wanted to go with the OEM look, and that's fine. So we got here the OEM sub right there, and I recommended this inexpensive Pioneer monoblock amp. It's pretty good for what it is. It's not going to set records, but it's pretty good on power. It won't drain your battery while you're running, and this is pretty much overkill for this little guy. Chances are pretty high we're going to end up swapping this one out down the road for her. So without further ado, let's get to it real quick, and I'll leave this in the description for you guys. So this is an amplifier kit that I'll be using on my Volvo pretty soon. Life events, which you guys will discover soon, has caused me to put that on hold for a little bit. But I recommended this amplifier kit because, once again, it's simple. I've got another video about this kit. It's under, was it Volvo S60 Part 1 or something like that. You'll see it. Okay, plan of attack here is to figure out which side we're going to run the power wire on. First, we'll start by removing this. Oh, it's pretty simple. Okay, so pull the privacy screen out. Don't fight me. Don't fight me. You can do this. Not easy to do this one hand either. You know what? I'm probably just gonna fold the seats down. I think I helped my friend wrestle this out once before, and we didn't do it this easily. So I'll put her over here. Keep it safe. All right. Pull the floor out. This is so far something to be pretty easy, which I like. It saves me some time. Back to business. What's really nifty about this rear hatch area is that you've got some loose foam pieces here, and it allows you to just remove it just like that if you want to. So it's going to help me a lot with working around this car. Factory subwoofer is going to go here. We're going to lose this cable tie down, and it will go right in there. Now, my only concern is the subwoofer. If you look over here, it has bolt mounts right here and here, and one right there, and I'm not sure if this is going to have that. I mean, but theoretically it should. We'll find out real soon. If not, I'm going to have to fabricate something. I'll probably use self-tapping screws. Worst case scenario, but also a really good way to go about it, is check underside and see if there's anything there, and then I'll get some hardware and properly secure it. I like to avoid self-tapping screws because, to me, self-tapping screws are kind of ghetto, and I only really use them for grounding power wire, which will go right here as far as the amp is concerned. The factory amp goes right there for the Sony systems, and I'm going to drop that Pioneer right there. It should fit. After removing the foam trim and the spare tire, I found that yes, indeed, the posts are there for the subwoofer, and I'm assuming this will cable tie down or bungee cord tie down here will be the third part of it, because you can see right here the cutout. It will pop right in there. Interestingly enough, it says Ford left some extra hardware down here. I wonder where that goes to. Who knows? Of course, first thing as always, we want to disconnect the battery before we go getting crazy here. It looks like, oh, okay, easy peasy racing cheesy. Guessing that's an 8mm. Let me find out. I lied, it's not an 8, it's a 10. What we try to do right here is get behind the firewall and tap into it. I saw on the other side there is a little grommet that's poking right through. It's almost like it's waiting for me to actually use. It's like Ford kind of thought of it ahead of time. Let's see, it's a little dark. It's kind of hard to see. I can get up here for you guys. Okay, it's right here. Anyway, it's a little grommet, goes straight out. So I'm gonna pull that battery out so I can have better access and hand room. And I'll show you how to do that real quick. So immediately, this top panel is going to prevent you from moving the battery. However, take this power wire here and it unclips from this little battery wall, or this battery box wall, and then here's your power cord. Then what you can do is do a little yank and it'll come right out. Give you more room. I think this might require a little further disassembly. I might be able to actually get it on out from just like that. So I'm pulling the battery box out right now. This will take 3 10mm bolts, one right there, there, and down in there. Also be advised, right here in this bracket, there's a torque screw that connects to it. I'm not really sure what size it is. My bit is just junk, so it doesn't really have anything etched. In the back, this guy right here, it's just clipped in there. You can actually go on the other side. It pulls right out pretty easily. And then once you got this loose as well, from the bottom here, this front panel, battery box should come right on out. So I'm going to wrestle that with 2 hands to get it out, and that way I'll be able to have access to the firewall behind there. Okay, so I removed the air box to get further access so I can get this thing out. Air box connects down in there like that. Under it, you've got some rubber plugs and clips, and what you're going to need as well is to the throttle. You've got 8mm socket hex there. You can also use a Torx bit, but I was able to get a socket in there easier. This area right here comes apart pretty easily. It's actually just a rubber flap, and you give it a little love and it'll pop out. Connects to the air box right there on the bottom hole, and the other guy, it just, once again, rubber flap, give it a little massage, comes right out. So now I can remove the battery box and get to work. Note here, the hood latch release handle is pretty dang tricky. So if you look closely, you can see these 2 little tabs on each side. What you're going to need is where's my camera? Okay, so you need one of these guys. I recommend you take your pry tool and pop this panel out a little bit first, where the panel is pushing onto the latch handle. Then you take your pry tool and wedge it in there, and as you're holding that, take your other hand and press in the tabs here, and it'll pop on right out. Whew. All right, after searching for over an hour, I could not find a way to the firewall, and also I didn't want to risk poking anything because these tolerances are so tight behind the other side of this firewall that just randomly drilling holes is a bad idea. So what I ended up doing was I went a little lower than I wanted to, but I finally found a spot and I poked my hole right there, and then I put the grommet in. Now the power wire is going to go right through it. It's going to be tight against the grommet itself, so water really shouldn't be an issue, but as a good measure, because I like to do things the right way, I'm going to pop some sealant around it, some silicone on both sides to give it the best watertight possible, because the car is pretty low, so I don't want my friend running into a puddle or anything that's a little too high than it should be and have water leaking in the car. But it will be fine, so I'm really not too worried about it.